You don't need to have 1 million followers to get 1 million likes or 1 million views. Anybody can go viral overnight. How to walk away without getting closure. Closure is a myth. My answer is unpopular opinion, spiritual warfare. How do you go about it? I learned more based off my own experience in actually doing than I learned in school. What's up, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel, and today we are in the car with it. I saw a few of y'all asked in the comments for more car content. That's what I'm doing today. I asked you guys on my story a few questions about whatever y'all want to talk about. I said put it on a flow, like put it in that little box on Instagram and let me know, because we're gonna talk about it. And that's exactly what y'all did. So I grouped together y'all questions in like specific categories. All of my answers are coming based off of my own experience. My opinion is not the end all be all, but I'm gonna tell y'all what has worked for me through my life. I'm gonna always give y'all the best advice, the best I can, because I want the best for y'all. So enough talking, let's get into it. For the category of dating, love life, whatever you want to call it, the first question is how to walk away without getting closure. I honestly feel like closure is a myth, because there's no way you're telling me that you going to talk to the person that hurt you is going to make you feel better. For example, there's no way you're telling me that going to talk to the person who, let's say, cheated on you, put their hands on you, or lied to you, or verbally abused you to get closure is going to make you feel better. That is a direct lie from Satan himself to keep you trapped in the cycle, to make you think like, oh, I'm just going to get closure, I'm going to leave this chapter alone and I'm going to feel better, and this is all I need for closure to close this chapter. That is a lie, y'all. When have you ever went back to talk to the person that actually hurt you and you left feeling better about the situation? Like, never in my experience have I told myself like, okay, I'm going to go get closure, and then I went back to talk to the person and then I actually left like feeling better, because that is a myth. And it doesn't make sense. It's not gonna make you feel better, and it ultimately has nothing to do with you. To go talk to the person that cheated on you about why they cheated on you, that's none of your business. They didn't cheat on you because anything that has to do with you. They cheated on you because they have internal issues. To go talk to the person that put their hands on you about why they put their hands on you, that has nothing to do with you. They put their hands on you because they have issues. They lied to you because they have issues. They betrayed you because they have issues. It has nothing to do with you. So you going to talk about these things to like get closure, it's not gonna make you feel better. And if it does make you feel better temporarily, they probably said, oh, I'm sorry and let's work things out, I won't do it again, and you fell for it. I've been there before too, but this is just the brutal honest truth. You go back into that cycle and they end up doing it again and again and again the more you allow it, because people respect you how you respect yourself. If you allow someone to do something to you once, they are going to do it to you again. That's a little bit off topic, but it correlates. For the person who asked this, how do you walk away without getting closure? The closure is of you leveling up and loving yourself and knowing that you don't need that you don't need that person, and that there's nothing that person can say to make the situation better. And I'm no like doctor or therapist or anything, but I have noticed that people tend to, like, when they get hurt, they want to go back to the person that hurt them because that's where they feel safe at and that's where they feel comfortable. But it honestly just ends up being a toxic cycle that you have to break. You don't get the closure from being with that person and going back and hearing whatever last words that person got to say to you. You get the closure by walking away, loving yourself correctly, being with people who know how to love you correctly, because love doesn't hurt. I remember someone told me that a few years ago and it really, really stuck with me. If it's hitting you, it's not love. If it's lying to you, it's not love. If it's doing things that make you feel uncomfortable, it's not love, guys. So you don't get closure again from talking to the person who hurt you, because there's nothing they can say that can make the situation better. If they tell you, oh, I cheated on you because I got drunk and this girl was there and whatever, or they say, oh, I hit you because I got mad and I'm sorry, I won't do it, it doesn't help you. That's not closure. So that's why I just say closure is a myth. And I say that with my own experience, because every time I went back for closure, it just ended up being a repeat of the same cycle. That's why I feel like you find closure within yourself. You don't find closure with somebody else, especially not the person who hurt you. And I'm sorry y'all hear me talking, y'all like, damn, like she brutally honest, or damn, like she's a little bit like rough around the edges. This is just how I talk, because I like when people talk to me with honesty, brutal honesty, things that I could apply into my life that are actually gonna be be solutions. I'm not the type of person to like talk in circles. I'm a really solution-based person. I don't like to dwell on things. I haven't always been like that though. So don't think I'm just always like this. There has been a time where like I just needed to sit and talk about the same situation a million times, and I knew I wasn't happy there, but I didn't want to leave. I totally understand, but sometimes you need somebody to like be real with you out of love and be honest with you, like, girl, this is not serving you. You gotta get up out of here. So question number 2, how to recover after getting cheated on in a long-term relationship. So I've been in a long-term relationship and I've got cheated on. Wow, no surprise. How I recovered from getting cheated on. It was really hard. It was long. It was painful. So what I had to do to completely get over that was completely remove myself from the situation. In other words, the relationship, completely remove myself from the person. And I had to learn how to love myself, because I realized the reason why I kept going back, and I'm sorry to say this, if you are someone who got cheated on and went back, you don't love yourself. And I know a lot of people try to justify cheating, but it's a fact. Someone who loves you would not cheat on you. Someone who values you and respects you would not cheat on you, because that person went out knowing that they betrayed you and that you could possibly leave their life forever because of it, and they still did it anyway. So is that even love? Like, how do you even justify cheating? So I had to completely remove myself from that situation. I had to reprogram my mind to learn how to love myself, and I did that by getting closer with God. I did that by gaining discipline, and I also had to remind myself and constantly tell myself the reason they cheated on me has nothing to do with me. When someone cheats on you, it has nothing to do with you. And it took me a long time to realize that, because I remember when I got cheated on, it made me feel so insecure. I was like, damn, these girls are prettier than me. These girls got this, these girls got that. And it took me so long to finally open my eyes and realize, yo, that has nothing to do with me, and not let the lies from the devil, such as like, oh, I got cheated on because of anything that I did. I had to rebuke that. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of growing mentally, but here I am. I could say that doesn't bother me at all. I've completely healed from that. There was times that I thought I was never gonna heal from that, and I did. So if I did it, you 100% can do it too. I know right now you might feel like in the dark and you might not see the light, but you have to have faith in God. You have to grow your relationship with Him, because God said you are beautifully and wonderfully made. So if God said you are beautifully and wonderfully made, and He created you, the King of Kings knew you and created you, and He knew your purpose before you was even born, why would you think it's your fault you got cheated on? Why would you think it's okay for me to stay with someone who cheated on me and doesn't respect me and embarrasses me outside in public with other females? I accept that. Does that even make sense? You think God's purpose for you that He knew before you was even born was that? To get cheated on and tolerate bare minimum, and not even bare minimum, below the bare minimum, because trust and loyalty is bare minimum. So when you don't even give that, you are below bare minimum. Why would you think you deserve to accept that? So that's why I always tell people, you have to have a relationship with God. You have to keep God at the center of all things, because if you don't have God at the center, you lose the plot. You start not loving yourself. You start feeling like, oh, maybe I should just tolerate this, when that's not what God wants for you. That's what helped me get over getting cheated on, which made me super insecure, which put a lot of roadblocks in my path. And to get rid of all those roadblocks, I had to form a relationship with God. So thank you, God, for taking me out of that, and I know He could take you out of that too. The next question is how to maintain a long-lasting relationship. I'm gonna add to this question how to maintain a healthy long-lasting relationship, because you could maintain a long-lasting relationship and that relationship could give you hell. So that's why I want to say how to have a healthy long-lasting relationship. Number one, God has to be at the center. If y'all can't tell, I love Jesus, I love God, so I just feel like I always need to bring up God, because He's everything to me. So God always has to be at the center. When God is at the center and you guys are both trying to please God, God calls you to like be a good person. He calls you not to lie. He calls you not to cheat, not to steal, not to speak out of anger. So when you're going into a relationship trying to please God and do those things, you end up treating each other good, and you end up loving on each other correctly. And number two is a big one for me, is accountability. A lot of people don't know that word, accountability. That's a big word for Elmo sometimes, but it's not the easiest thing to have, but I feel like for me, it's one of the most important things to have. Everybody says communication, you need communication, but you could communicate with someone for hours and they will still not see where they messed messed up at, where they offended you at, and y'all will end up talking in circles. So I need someone to be able to hold themselves accountable for their actions, for their words. I need someone who's able to reflect and be like, yeah, I messed up when I did that. And same goes for me. I need whoever I'm with, even as a friend, whoever's in my life, to be able to reflect. If you ask somebody like, oh, what are your like red flags, or what's something that you need to work on when it comes to relationships, and they be like, nothing, yeah, you scare me, because nobody in this world is perfect. So if you really out here thinking you perfect, that shows me you're not able to reflect and you're not able to better yourself moving forward. That's my answer to having a long, healthy relationship. Keep God at the center and accountability. I didn't think I wanted to answer this question, but opinion on dating an artist, if you're comfortable sharing. My man is an artist and I hate him. Some of you might not know, but I dated an artist in the past, and my experience dating an artist, they do like lustful videos with girls, like video vixens. They pretend like they're in a relationship. They fake have sex in the video. They kiss each other, twerking on the artist in the videos. Another thing that artists do a lot is like go to the clubs and be around bottle girls or strippers or like Kiss fans. Like, I don't know, I think I seen like Chris Brown do like a meet and greet or something, and his fans was like twerking on him, or he was like dancing and kissing his fans. Like, you know, they do stuff like that. I guess that comes with the entertainment industry. Those lustful things with women, it never sat right in my spirit. Like, it never sat right in my heart. I always felt uncomfortable when it came to video shoots. It's just like really inappropriate. Like, and a lot of people will call me like insecure. People will really try to normalize it, and that I even started questioning myself, like, am I being insecure? Like, should I just like not care about this and just be okay with it just because it's his job? But that is a lie from the devil. I don't care what nobody tells me. That is a lie from Satan himself. Where in the Bible does it say it's okay for a man in a relationship, or like, even though he wasn't my husband, if we would have stayed together, eventually he would have been my husband? Like, where does it say that it's okay for a man in a relationship to like do lustful things with girls and kiss girls and just because it's his job? Show me, where does it say that? That's what the world tries to normalize, but it's not right. It's not right for many reasons. Not only is it disrespectful to the relationship, it's promoting certain type of sins. I'm not even gonna get into that because that's the whole problem with the whole entertainment industry as a whole. So my advice to this girl, you either get with the program or you leave. You either manipulate yourself into thinking that it's okay for these things to happen, because he's not gonna change his career, especially if he's already an established artist. He's not going to change like doing the music videos with the girls. He's not going to change talking about girls in his songs. He's not going to change going to the club and being around girls just to get a quick bag. And I don't feel like you are anybody in a position to try to change that. So I feel like you should just change him. Don't try to change the career. Don't try to change how he does his career. Change the man. Go get with a man that has the same values and morals as you and wouldn't do that. Doesn't want to do those things for work. Doesn't think those things are okay. You're going to spend more time and more energy, more words and breath trying to argue with him about why this is wrong and da-da-da. And it's not going to change nothing. He's still going to go back and do a music video with a girl twerking on his lap in a panty, in a thong. Girl, you might as well just go change the man. But I know people don't want to hear that, and like I said earlier, my advice is going to be honest and brutal, but I'm just telling y'all what I went through. That's what I had to realize. I can't be with an artist. I don't like things like that. I don't want to see my man in a strip club with strippers twerking on him just because he's an artist. Like, I don't want to see my man in a music video acting like he's having sex with a girl just because he's an artist. I don't care. Like, I don't know. That's humiliating. It's disrespectful. I don't like that stuff. So I'm just going to go be with the man who doesn't do that for work, who gets money a different way, and who doesn't want to do that and realizes it's disrespectful. So that's just my opinion on dating an artist. So that was a little bit aggressive. Our next chapter is going to be Christianity/spirituality. When I say spirituality, I mean spirituality in Jesus Christ. Not none of that witch stuff, not none of that zodiac stuff, evil eye stuff. I don't do that. I don't do that horoscope stuff, okay? I do Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm a child of God. Okay? Yes, the first question is, what started your walk with Christ? So I'm not gonna get exactly into detail about like the day or the event that like I decided to give my life to Jesus, but what I will say, it was a moment in my life. I feel like nothing was working. Every decision I was making, it was turning left. Like, God had literally stripped everything from me. Every decision I was making, it wasn't going my way. I feel like God was just like, oh, this brings you happiness, take it away. You love this person, betray you. Oh, you get confidence from this, take it away. Oh, you like that makes you smile, take it away. So it's was just like, I just felt like so alone. I honestly feel like God purposely isolated me because I wanted this certain life for myself so bad and it wasn't working. And I don't say the word depressed because I feel like that's a heavy word, but if I was ever depressed, that would be the time. I was just so sad, so alone, so isolated. And I feel like God did that on purpose so he could be like, look, now you have nothing. Now all you have is me. Now you gotta come to me because you don't have anything else but me. And I just remember saying to God, like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I'm clearly doing something wrong. Like, I was talking. Like, I was like, when I talk to God, like, I talk. Like, God, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm not happy. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I literally remember saying to myself, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And I remember saying, like, God, take this. I didn't even realize the significance of what I was saying. I didn't even realize that what I was saying was like exactly what it says in the Bible that God wants us to do. God wants us to cast our worries on him. He wants us to not lead based off our own understanding. I had never read the Bible, so I didn't even realize the words that were coming out of my mouth. I didn't even realize how much they meant. Like, my whole life has been going up since that day. So this is your sign. If you ever feel like you are isolated and you have nobody and you have nothing and you're losing everything, that is your sign to turn to God. God is isolating you to come to him because it says in the Bible, he literally tells us we don't need anything but him. If we have God, we have everything. That's what made me decide to go to God. I was just at my lowest point and I'm so happy that happened because I thought my life was falling apart whole time. It was the beginning of coming together. That's how beautiful God is. So the next question is spiritual warfare. How do you go about it? So if you don't know what spiritual warfare is, according to the Bible, is the unseen war between God's kingdom and Satan's kingdom. We deal with spiritual warfare every single day and most people aren't aware of it. An example of this is like, let's say you're someone who know that like drinking is not good for you. You do bad stuff when you drink. Like, let's say you hurt people, you argue with people, you fight with people, or you know you don't do good stuff when you drink because nobody does good stuff when they drink. Yet you keep finding your way to that bottle and you going out and drinking in the clubs and stuff like that. Like, you can't help it. That is spiritual warfare because you know it's not good for you, but you can't leave it alone. Another example, let's say gambling, someone who has a gambling addiction. You have a gambling addiction, you know you're wasting all your money gambling, you know you're going broke gambling, you know you're behind on bills, but you can't stop gambling. That is spiritual warfare as well. Last example, I was on TikTok 2 days ago and I was listening to this girl's video and she was talking about a crazy story time. Everybody was laughing about it in the comments, but it was like, girl, like they was like judging her at the same time. And I'm listening to her. This is exactly what she says. She says, I have a problem saying no in intimate situations. She was like, I have a hard time saying no to sex. Like, I know I don't want to have sex, but I have a hard time saying no. Like, I can't say no. And she was like going into detail about what she does to prevent sex, not to be TMI, but she was like, oh, like I don't shave, so that's an excuse for me not to have sex. Like, I'll go on my period, so I don't have sex, but she will still end up having sex. That is spiritual warfare. She knows she doesn't want to have sex, but she cannot say no. And she didn't say, oh, because the guys were pressuring me. Like, it's just a feeling in her body. That is a lustful spirit in her body that is trying to continuously lead her into sin that she knows she doesn't want to do. Like, her mind is and her heart is telling her she doesn't want to do it, but her body, that lustful spirit in her body, that right there is spiritual warfare. We deal with it on the daily. Sometimes it's worse than others. I went through spiritual warfare very, very intensely. I fell back into a sin that I thought that I completely washed my hands with. I thought I was completely done with this sin. I haven't sinned like this in a very, very, very long time, and then I did it. And when I did it, not only did I fall back into that sin, but then when you do that, the devil starts telling you lies, starts telling you you're disgusting. He starts telling you like you're not worthy of forgiveness. You can't go back to God because you fell back into the sin after you said you wasn't going to do it. Especially if you're baptized. Oh, you're baptized and you fell back into the sin. You're disgusting. God doesn't want you anymore. God doesn't love you anymore. You start like finding your identity in the sin, like, oh, that you are the sin. And you start thinking all these things, and that's all lies from the devil, which is spiritual warfare to like try to keep you away from God, to make you think that God will never forgive you. So I was really going through it for a few days. So I had to fast. And it was actually right before I got baptized. So I feel like the devil was really trying to do that to me so I would not get baptized, because the devil doesn't want you to get baptized. He doesn't want you to know and recognize Jesus as your Lord and Savior. He doesn't want you to go to into God's kingdom. So when I got tempted and fell back into the sin, because the devil knows exactly how to tempt you, so you have to be aware, because he's not going to tempt you with something you don't want. He's going to tempt you with something that he knows is your pain point, he knows is your weakness, so you could fall back into the sin. And then when you fall back into the sin, he's going to violate you. He's going to be like, you're disgusting, you're not worthy, you're this, you're that, you can't go back to God. So that's what was really happening to me. And I'm going to be honest, one thing that actually did make a big impact on this was fasting. I fasted. It was my first time fasting. Something just called me to fast. I did it, and it was so impactful. And I feel like I heard from God so much that day. So I would suggest, when you're battling with spiritual warfare, fast. And fasting doesn't only mean from food. With the music you listen to, with the media that you're intaking, the shows you're watching, the food. And I was just praying all day just so like I could hear from God, and I really did. So fasting is very impactful. Prayer is I feel like a lot of people underrate prayer, but it's very impactful. And read the word and surround yourself with people who have a relationship with God so they could bring you closer to God. I had a few more questions, but this video is getting kind of lengthy because I'm a blabbermouth. So now we're going to talk about content creation and like selling online business, because that's what I do for work. I'm a full-time content creator, and I had an online store for 6 years. I sold cosmetics and I sold hair extensions. The question somebody asked me, classes to take if you're into content creation / small business. I went to college for marketing, and I feel like marketing was the best major for me to take based on what I do. I'm a full-time content creator, which is marketing, because you are marketing yourself online, whether you're making content for your business or you're just making like lifestyle content and beauty and fashion content or whatever your niche is. I would say if you want to do college marketing, but what I will say is I learned more based off my own experience in actually doing than I learned in school. And I've also learned a lot more from mentors and taking online courses than actual college. So if you don't know what that is, let's say you want to be a beauty influencer. You will find a beauty influencer who mentors people on how to be beauty influencers. Like, find somebody who already does what you want to do and have them teach you how to do it. That will cut your process in half. Like, let's say it took her 10 years to be successful in the beauty influencing industry. And if you're learning from her, you could learn all her mistakes and all her wins faster. So I would suggest, if you don't want to do college for whatever reason, definitely find a mentor, take online courses, and just go ahead and do it. I literally learned the most about business and content creation and marketing, not through school, but by actually posting and see what works, by actually selling and see what sells and how to sell. So mentorships, courses, a real life action, you're gonna get more knowledge out of those 3 things than in college. I'm not saying don't go to college, but if you want to do business and you want to do social media, those 3 things that I told you will help you learn the fastest. And I realized the thing with a majority of successful business owners, if not all, they are risk takers. You cannot be afraid to take that risk. Because I realized with successful people, why they're successful and why they're more rich than other people, because they don't doubt. They just do it. They be like, oh, that's gonna work, let me try it. Oh, it doesn't work, next thing. But average people, they be like, I'm not sure. And if they do build up the courage to try it, and if it fails, then that's it. They give it up. They give up on their hopes and dream of owning a business and being an entrepreneur. But successful entrepreneurs, they take that risk every single time and they do it fast. So yes, they become rich and successful, but they take a lot of L's before they get that big W, because they're just trying so many things. It's trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And that happened with me so many times. I've lost so much money. I've made a whole bunch of mistakes, but I don't see it as mistakes. I see it as lessons. Like, okay, I tried it. At least I know it doesn't work. On to the next thing, on to the next thing. So I feel like that's the main difference between successful entrepreneurs and people who don't find success in entrepreneurship. They give up. They're too scared to take risks. But the successful ones, the big dogs who make the big bucks with the big companies, they keep taking those risks. They keep taking those L's. Don't take them as losses, take them as lessons, and they keep going. So if you want to have a small business and you want to get good at business, you really have to just get in the field and you have to just learn from experience. And I definitely recommend, again, get a mentor, someone who has the lifestyle that you want and is willing to teach teach you how to get it. If you have to pay for it, invest in it to learn what you need to learn and apply it fast so you could learn what works and what doesn't work and move on to the next thing. It's my advice. If you want to take the college route, marketing, that's what I did. I did learn a few things, but I learned the most through mentors and actual real life experience. The next question is content creation tips for people who want to make it their full-time job. My tips, if you want to be a full-time content creator, is you have to be strategic. I feel like everybody is like just posting, like hoping it goes viral, because you see people like go viral by accident. It does happen now. You don't need to have 1 million followers to get 1 million likes or 1 million views. Anybody can go viral overnight. But if you want to make money from your content, that is not an accident. It's easy to go viral. Anybody could go viral. But if you want to make money from your content, make content that sells, make content that gets brand deals, make content that gets monetized, make content that gets sales, that is strategic. I feel like that's a whole separate video. I'm gonna give 3 tips. My first tip, narrow down on a niche so people know exactly what you do. If you're a makeup artist or you're into makeup, beauty is your niche. Or if you're into fashion, fashion is your niche. You could have more than one niche, but I would suggest being very direct in what you do so you can make content around that niche, and when anybody thinks about that niche, they think of you. Like, oh, I want to try a new makeup tutorial, I'm gonna go to this person's page. Oh, I need outfit inspo, I'm gonna always go to this person's page. 2, I would suggest creating content pillars, which is something I'm now getting into that I wish I started earlier, but that is the best way to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent the whole time, because when you're a content creator and that's your job, like you don't have any other source of income, you cannot not work. If you don't work, you don't make money. So if you don't post, you don't make money. So you have to stay consistent, and the best way to stay consistent is have 3 to 5 content pillars, like a certain style of post that you always do. So right now, one of my current content pillars is like a vlog style that I like vlog with my back camera in 5x, and I'll just vlog and then I'll do a voiceover. Like for a fitness influencer would be like every week they do a exercise video, like, oh, this is the leg day. If you want to do a leg day, you do it like this: 5 reps of squats, 10 reps of lunges. Like, that's a content pillar. They use that same content style and they keep reusing it and keep reusing it, of course with different information, different pictures, different video clips, but it's still the same style. So that's the best way to stay consistent. Those are just 2 gems I'm gonna drop. Find your niche and make content pillars. Oh, and then to make the content pillars, I'm gonna say this: if you already post content, look at what works and what doesn't, and look at your analytics, and whatever has worked based on your analytics and like got the most likes, got the most views, got the most shares, make that your content pillar, because that's clearly something that people want to see. And keep creating content like that, refine it, make it better, but keep it that same kind of style. I hope y'all understand what I mean. I feel like I gotta make another video on this. So I think that's gonna be all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like it was kind of crazy, but I love you guys so much. Comment down below if y'all want more videos like this, if y'all agree or disagree with anything I said. I love you guys. Be blessed and